In this video, you will learn how to use a Kindle Previewer. I will show you how to view or preview your publication in this Kindle software before you submit it. Basically, what you want to see is what your publication is going to look like on all types of Kindles before you submit it. It's really important to do this. I found this software on Amazon, and it does this for you, and it's free. So let's take a look out here at Amazon and find this. If you have trouble finding the link, it is at the bottom of the screen. You can always go and look for kdp.amazon.com/help and then look for your Kindle Previewer under Tools. Anyway, we now are in the process of downloading that software. It takes just a minute to download to your computer, and when we're done with that, we can then use the software. The first thing we need to do is we need to go back and find our .doc file that we have created within the software. So once we know where that is, and we can always see that from that front panel, then we can go pick that up and open it with either Word or one of the Word clone software pieces. Now there are some free packages out there that you can use. One of them is called OpenOffice. And you can download this from openoffice.org. And this has something called Writer. And we can use this the same way as we use Word. So what we're going to do is use that, and we'll open up our .doc file inside of this software. Again, remember, we're opening the doc file. And what we'll see is a version of our book as it appears in the Word type software. What we need to do here is we need to save it in a different format in order to be able to view it for the Kindle. And we're going to save it in a HTML type software, either HTML or .html, depending upon the word processor you're using. And we want to go ahead and save it in that HTML. Now we have our HTML file and some images in a folder. So that's all there is to it to get our book ready to see. We now click on the Kindle software, and that'll bring it up. The software needs that folder and the images to build your book. This is a time saver. If you were not using this software, you would have to upload the book and all the images through Kindle. That is a pain. With the KDP Preview software, it's all done for you. Now, we're going to see what it looks like in different formats. We're going to start with Kindle HD, and we select a setting down below, and then we open up our file and go find the book that we have. Let's look at the settings and see some of the options that we have for different device types. When we click on that, we see a pull-down menu, and some of the options are Kindle HDX, HDX 8.9, White Paper, DX, iPhone, and iPad. So we have quite a few different kinds of things that we can check in terms of format. Having selected HD, I'm now going to go open the book. I should have saved it in the same place that I saved the doc file, so I should be able to go right back to that directory, and when I open it, find it there. So let me go to that directory. Here we go. Let's now have the HTML file, and we'll get some information. Usually there's a warning or two, but don't worry about it unless the book doesn't compile. Then you need to go back and figure out what's going on. Go ahead and click OK. It's going to open the document, and we're going to see it now in the HD format. In this particular case, we may need to do some formatting to take care of it, but we might not worry about that too much at this point. We will need to do it, though, once we've looked at all the different options for devices. What we now want to do is this kind of as we can scroll through and see what this is going to look like on that particular device, which is kind of cool because now we can tell what it should be. You see our pictures are in there. We move down through the chapters. Let's go click on the home up here because this will allow us to look at it under different devices. This will return us to the regular page there. And I think our book is still loaded, so if it isn't, we could always open the book again. But since I think it's still loaded, what we can do is go down to the settings and select a different device. This time I'd like to look at HDX format and see what it looks like there. Now, some of the fonts when we get there might be a little big, and I may want to go play around with that a little bit. Again, we get the messages. It's loading. There we go. We still have that font problem that we might want to do, especially with the title there. But as you can see, we move through. We have the chapters that do have TOC on them, and those are in the table of contents. The other chapters like introduction are not there because that's what we selected. And now we see our introduction. We can see what the document looks like. It looks a little different here than it did in the HD. So we need to kind of look through and see how all these different pieces look based on the device we're viewing it on. So this is very cool. This is kind of cool. So again, we may want to do some things with the font to make this readable on all the devices. Let's look at another preview here. I think what we'll do is select the Kindle white paper, and that'll bring up our file. Okay, and we'll see our preview here. Now see, on the white paper we don't have any problem with some of those things. However, on the white paper we do have just black and white for our images, and some people will only have black and white. So be sure to look at it and make sure that the images still work in a black and white environment. If you want to preview on the iPad or the iPhone, you'll have to copy the AZK file to an iPhone or an iPad. Even though in the Windows it appears as an option, it will look empty when you bring it up. So you'll need to make, like I say, take those files and transfer them over. So as you can see, your book will look different on all the devices, but you can see how it's going to look before you do any releasing. Then you can go back and make changes, and your book will look the way you want it to. You don't want your book out there and then look at it and say to yourself, oh man, that doesn't look very good at all. What did I do? Or you might even get rejected if the book does not look good. So you need to test it before anyone sees it. This is a handy tool you can get for free, and it'll help you produce a quality ebook. This video showed you how to preview your book before you upload it to Kindle. On the next video, what we will do is we'll see how to upload to Kindle